Not everything in the garden is rosy. Hey Top Guns, I'm Olga, a small business owner and a career strategist, and I'm happy to see you on my channel. Take a second to subscribe and say hi in the comments when you do. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 challenges I faced with when I started my home-based online business. And I must say that the list is growing, which is like embarrassing, but one has to admit it. And for the sake of convenience, I'm going to split them into two categories: business challenges and personal challenges. What I mean here is that these challenges either affect more my business or they affect more my well-being and personal self-confidence. Let's start with the business challenges. And the first challenge I faced with is lack of resources, which is like predictable, but I mean literally all of them. Financial, human resources, software, supplies, everything. Like when you work in a corporate environment on a corporate job, if you need a person to join your team for the sake of saving the project, you just let your manager know, and then he lets you know whether you are approved of your request, and when you do, the HR will take care of your needs. They will provide you with the team member to assign to your project. And financial side of this request, any operational sides of this request, like headhunters have to look for the right candidate to join your team, right? They have no influence on your decision, and this is just like, it's none of your business. You made a request and you received what you wanted. Not so when you run your own business. You have to define whether you really need this person and whether it will be profitable to bring him or her to your team. In most cases, you end up doing all the operations on your own and you are paying for all your needs yourself. I bet no one here is a millionaire, so you will find yourself in a desperate situation pretty fast. Second is no consistency in income. Again, when you are a hired professional, you can depend on a monthly income you receive from a company, your salary, and you know that at the end of the month you will be granted with a certain amount of money that you can spend on your personal needs. Not so when you are an entrepreneur. One day you have a bunch of clients coming in, so that you just lack resources, you lack time to serve for all of them, and the next day you get none. So unless you secure a long-term deal, you feel yourself dependent on your own luck, and your business suffers as a consequence. Third business challenge I've faced with is multitasking and hiring help. And the reason I'm mentioning it among business challenges is because multitasking has never been a personal issue for me. I'm used to multitasking, though it has never been an issue, I'm used to it. But when you start a business and you feel that you need help, you need someone doing your operations, you need someone doing your HR or hiring process if the business is not a solopreneurship, but if you're growing your team, you need someone handling your accounts, the financial side of your business, you need someone do your branding, and so on and so forth. And at some point you start to realize that you are actually losing your money because you are losing your focus. And instead, for example, instead of focusing on sales and bringing up new clients and new deals and new incomes to your business, you have to do all the operations, all the financial transactions, dealing with current customers, dealing with your team members, boosting up your social media presence, doing your branding, all the jobs, all the tasks that need to be done, but they have no impact on your income, on the company's income. And instead of focusing on sales, you have to focus on what you already have, because you risk losing it if you don't. The business problem here is that you cannot afford to hire additional team members at the beginner stage of your business, so you end up doing most of it on your own until you figure out that you can afford to hire an additional team member to release the tension and for you to be free for doing something that is really important for your business. This requires a lot of financial planning, so that's why I'm mentioning it among other business challenges. Fourth business challenge I faced with is accounting, taxes, and all the legal stuff of which you have no clue when you start a business. I mean, I think you have some ideas of how you're going to operate, but when you actually start a business, there would be so many details flowing in, and you will have to deal with them, and there is literally no way you can handle all of the legal stuff and all of the financial stuff on your own when you grow your business. Like, of course, you do your research on financial side of your business, on legal side of your business, but all those lawyers and accountants did not study in university for years and have been operating in industry for years for nothing, right? So there is no way you can learn all that they know in the course of a few weeks. You need a professional help there to avoid inevitable mistakes. So the only inevitable expenses when you start your business, when you start an online business, would be to pay for a professional help from the accountant. I'm advising you to go for an accountant rather than a lawyer, because accountant knows the financial side of your business, and you will be basing your business based on his advices on how to pay less taxes, on which form of business would be more beneficial for you, and so on and so forth. Like for my business, I have hired a professional company of accountants who handle the major financial issues of my business. Fifth challenge I faced with is industry changes, and this most relates to home-based entrepreneurs like myself. When you are working in the industry for years, and when you shift to a work-from-home job or work-from-home business, there is literally no way you can keep on track with everything that's going on in the world. Of course, you have your internet, but when you run your business, you don't have time to read the daily news like every minute, and industry, for example, IT industry like mine, is changing rapidly, is changing drastically, and you cannot keep on track on your own. Whilst at the same time, when you work at the office, you learn everything of it out of office rumors, and you don't have to read all the news yourself. So this kind of puts you back behind your competition, and you have to be aware of it, and you have to keep on track. And my advice is attend professional conferences, have offline talks with the people of importance in your industry, so that you don't fall behind the competition. Before we continue, let me know in the comments which business challenge out of those that I mentioned have you faced with, and which one has been the nastier. And now let's continue with the personal challenges. And the first personal challenge I faced with is self-doubt. Of course, it's natural when you're just starting out that you are doubting yourself whether or not you will cope with your business. Of course, it's natural to doubt yourself a little bit, but sometimes self-doubt gets to the level when you start to doubt yourself as a person, not just a business person, but a person. And the reason is that you do not get appreciated for your work. When you work in the office, when you're doing your corporate job, you have your manager who tells you whether or not you excel at your job. And you're doing everything to be promoted, for the manager to notice you, and you're doing your best because you know that you might be appreciated. Not so when you are an entrepreneur. You are not only not being appreciated, you have to find this inner energy in yourself to keep going even without any appreciation, and moreover, to inspire and motivate others. Second personal issue I faced with is time management. Whilst I thought that I had no issues with this one, like I'm super efficient while I'm working in my home office. However, unexpected events might happen that will threaten your time scheduling. For example, you schedule that you will spend these hours with your family. This is a family time. And then a client calls you with some unexpected issue. Now, when you are working in the office, when you are working for your employer, this is your employer, the company who pays you. But when you run your business, it's your client who pays you. So it's in your best interest to answer to his urgent call and to solve the problem so that the client remains happy. Or the vice versa. You've scheduled that this time is dedicated to your work issues only, and then your kids come vomiting to your home office, or you got a personal call that you cannot ignore, something bad or something good has happened and you have to attend. So just accept the fact that there will be no perfect scheduling, and that overlaps and unexpected situations might happen. Third personal issue I faced with is being disconnected from people. Whilst I thought that I was doing pretty well, like I'm having video conferences and video calls almost every single day or several times per week, so I thought that I have no issues with this one. But when I once went to a conference on machine learning and artificial intelligence and such stuff, just for the sake of meeting new people offline, and though I typically don't have any issues interacting with people and networking with people, this time I felt myself really weird. So I like felt so distant from the people that I had issues to look them straight in the eyes. So my advice is, do get out of your house at least once in a quarter if you're a work from home entrepreneur. Go to some professional events, go to co-working spaces where you can meet people from your industry, get motivated, get inspired, and just get experience to talking to people offline. Force is something that is inevitable. It's guilty by default. When you start your business, you must be ready to take all the blame on yourself, even if it's not your fault. Even if you could not predict that the client won't pay you, or even if you could not predict that this disaster would happen or that disaster will happen, just be ready to take all the blame on yourself and just accept the fact that you are guilty for everything. And the fifth personal challenge I faced with is lack of support from your connections and losing some of them along the way. In fact, people are either waiting for you to fail or they expect unreasonable results from you, thus making you feel like a failure already because you didn't hit their expected results, you didn't hit their aids, and you're feeling yourself like you're not good enough. I have personally faced with two reactions when people learn that I am in the business. First, it's envy and wild intentions of learning how much I earn, and second, asking me for favors which I'm in no position to fulfill, like lending them unreasonable amounts of money or asking to give them a job and so on and so forth. Do not rely on people supporting you if your family or your friends do appreciate it. Other than that, keep your mouth shut about your intentions and your goals until you actually hit them, so that to avoid some unwanted reactions and to avoid losing your friends. Now let me know if you faced with any of the personal challenges I mentioned. Like I mentioned, my list is growing and I'm thankful for every challenge I faced with, as I only got stronger and lost my fears along the way. Forewarned is forearmed. This covers it for today. Top Guns, hit the notification bell to not miss the new comings. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching my videos. Come back to my channel, say hi in the comments. I love to talk to people. Thanks again and have a great week. See you next Tuesday.